Welcome to this session on your club and its role with the University of South Carolina and its Alumni Association, and more importantly, what we can do to help your club reach all of its goals. My name is Steve Curtright. I'm the Senior Director for Alumni Volunteer Engagement. I've been in this role for about 2 years. I oversee our major market clubs, volunteer best practices, and I help out with club scholarship endowments.
Hey guys, I'm Erin Huddleston. I'm the Assistant Director for Alumni Volunteer Engagement. So I've been a part of this team since January of 2020. However, I have been with the Alumni Association for about 5 years now. I help Steve oversee clubs, so I oversee the small and mid-level market clubs and assist with the process of starting new clubs and volunteer resources. And just to kind of show you some familiar faces you may see around, this is the rest of our team. So you'll see Katie Hambrick, who is the Assistant Executive Director for Alumni Engagement. Katie really leads our team, and she oversees all of our signature Alumni Association events, and really just helps kind of guide us with any questions that we may have. Haven Spanier is the Director of Student and Young Alumni Engagement. You'll see Haven around. She is oftentimes on campus assisting with student events and also oversees our Young Alumni Council and Garnet Circle. Simone Keller is the Director of Alumni Affinity Engagement. So Simone oversees our Veterans Alumni Association, our Black Alumni Council, and also helps with any new programs that may, or interest groups that may want to join the association. And Selena Chavis, Selena's our resident team member. We joke with Selena that she's been here since 1801. Selena really kind of assists with everything that our team may need: alumni awards, alumni scholarships, and general alumni engagement information. So y'all will likely see their faces around the center, and I will continue to introduce some of our other team members. Wes Hickman, many of you probably recognize him. Wes is our Chief Executive Officer. Wes has been here, gosh, for just at a year now, maybe a little over a year, and has really just been instrumental in guiding us and leading us to new initiatives. Taylor Valley is our Assistant Executive Director of Membership Development. You'll see Taylor around too, especially as we talk about membership within our clubs and how we can lean on our clubs to help grow our membership program.
And just one quick note, if I could real quick there, Aaron, everyone on our team, engagement team, or even Wes and Taylor, they're often the folks that you see at alumni club events. So they're most of the time, they're going to be the folks besides the two of us, obviously. Aaron and I are always there. But those are the other folks you might see, especially Wes. And his goal to meet almost every club, I think, within the first couple of years of being here. That's quite a goal, but we really appreciate their assistance and support. Okay, so we want to give some time to our other Alumni Association volunteer groups, especially our Board of Governors. They guide and oversee the operations of the Alumni Association. What's great about the Board of Governors is they are some of our most engaged alumni we have. They have representatives in each district within the state of South Carolina, but we also have representatives in some of our largest markets. So get with your staff liaison, that's Aaron or I, to see who your Board of Governors person would be, or if you have one in your area, and we'd be more than happy to connect you with their great support. They've been fantastic to work with. Affinity councils represent folks who have a shared identity. So that would be our Black Alumni Council or our Veterans Alumni Council. And they have been fantastic partners in spreading the word of the Alumni Association, but also representing their interest as well. We have interest groups as well, which make up groups of alumni who have a shared experience. So one that's coming up for us would be the Student Marching Band alumni group. And so we have these things popping up at all times, and there are always opportunities for us to engage more alumni.
And next we have Garnet Circle. So Garnet Circle are some of our most engaged students on campus. They actually guide the operations of our Student Alumni Association. One of Garnet Circle's big events that they plan is actually the UofSC ring ceremony. I know many of y'all probably participated in this. It's a cherished tradition on campus. So they help us really plan and organize that event. And I already mentioned the Student Alumni Association. That is the largest student organization on campus. And they're always trying to engage students while they're on campus, and then of course help with that transition from students to alumni. And then we have our Carolina Action Network, which is our advocacy group. It's really kind of a grassroots effort to get alumni, students, employees, parents really talking to our representatives and really trying to assist with funding for the university and continue to push the university forward. So we want to touch on for a second about understanding your role as a club leader. Obviously, club leaders are very important to the overall mission of the association. And we want you to know that you hold the key to bringing Gamecock Nation to your city. That's a big responsibility, but it's a fun responsibility. And we want to empower you with all the tools. That's kind of the reason we have this presentation. So as the association, we do create goals for our clubs to continue to engage alumni in their city that furthers the mission of the association. So what you see to the right-hand side is just a little snapshot of what we're looking at on a weekly basis. You'll see our quarterly goals, for instance, the number of events that we want to host for each level club. So you'll see the number of Horseshoe Club events, the number of Garnet, Carolina Capstone events. So just want to let y'all know that we are keeping an eye on this, and obviously y'all have a huge impact on the association. And all of these events are documented and evaluated to continue to determine that impact. And then, you know, we hope to see progress through each quarter, and that's why your staff liaison's here to assist you with furthering those goals.
Outside of the Alumni Association, we do have university partnerships as well. And they serve in capacities that might intersect with our alumni clubs quite a bit. And we most certainly welcome that. We have the Gamecock Club, which represents athletics. They are mostly for ticket sales, but also they have clubs in areas that we have a lot of our Alumni Association clubs in the state of South Carolina, and just a couple on the outside of the state as well. Additionally, we have some schools and colleges that have alumni advisory boards. You might see the Moore School or Arts and Sciences have some alumni in their region that have those. And then we have our partners, of course, from other institutions, most notably the SEC. And those are always great opportunities to meet up with a rival group, peacefully, of course, and host an event. But one thing you'll see is the next slide will show you, and even this slide here, all of these groups have one thing in common, and that's we're all Gamecocks. Doesn't matter if they're an alumnus, they're a donor, doesn't matter if they're just a fan of the university. They are all Gamecocks. So it makes sense that we would work with them on all kinds of things. So these are opportunities. These groups are opportunities to collaborate and not just raise your name, your club's name, but also, as I always say, the rising tide brings up all ships, right? So all we're doing is just increasing our engagement across the spectrum. Aaron loves when I say that, but you can see here, we've had some very successful events, whether it be with the Veterans Alumni Association and the Charleston Gamecocks, or in Charlotte, they host kickoff events for the Gamecock Club, and with the Alumni Association Club. And we, every time we see this, all we see is just positive numbers and great engagement from alumni that are participating in those events. So we encourage you, if you have anyone in your area or in your market that is associated with either a school, maybe the Moore School, or maybe it's someone from the Gamecock Club. If you have a volunteer in your city that represents that body, bring them onto your board and let them have a seat at the table. So that way we're all talking to each other and staying on the same page. So let's talk just a little bit about how clubs operate, because I think to get a solid understanding of what resources are provided to you and how your club can best operate at its most efficient capacity, it's good to have a strong understanding of how we got here, right? So we have two different types of clubs that start off. We have the association starts and we have alumni self-starts. The big difference there is an alumni self-starts when we have one or two people in a city that say, you know, we don't have any Gamecocks we don't have any University of South Carolina representation here. We want to start a group. And so we've had some successful ones, most recently with Seattle, where we had an alumnus reach out and say, I want to start a group here. Well, we are more than happy to look up how many alumni are in the area, and email that out and get the interest rolling there. And we've had a lot of success there with that. Then we also have association starts. So those are where we do an evaluation and see where we do not have a club, but we have a high number of alumni in the region. Maybe the university recruits quite a bit from that area, or we have a lot of activity, maybe from some of our partnering groups that are maybe the Gamecock Club or something like that. So we will send out a survey to kind of engage leaders. We'll use our networks that we have in place to find people to take the ball and run with it. And we've had a lot of success doing that as well. As you can see, all 4 of these clubs that are listed on here are all very active and are all doing some great things. But no matter the type of club, no matter how they're started, you have the same resources. You also have the attention of a staff liaison, Aaron or I, who are here to help at all times. We're here for you, so use us. So where do we start? We send out a survey. That's the best way to determine what alumni in your area want to do. Is there any interest in having a club there? So we use SurveyMonkey. We have an exclusive partnership with them, and we determine the best to send, usually within, usually it's within a 30-mile radius. So we'll send an email that introduces alumni and says, we're looking at starting a club, or maybe if it's alumni self-start, maybe they already have a Facebook page. And so we'll utilize that as well. We want to maximize the amount of alumni to get their feedback. So we want to maximize the amount of alumni who receive that survey and really can take it. Through the survey, we're able to determine what type of event Gamecocks in your area want to attend, how often they should do it, how much they want to spend at those events, how far they're willing to travel for it. But one thing for sure that we need to keep in mind is we will most certainly help customize your survey so it meets the needs of alumni in your area. One example of that is New York City Gamecocks. One thing I will say, we encourage all of our clubs to do a yearly survey. That way you can stay on top of the trends and understand what's coming down the pipe, and maybe you have new ways of finding new leaders. Maybe you have a new inn with a new venue in town. So when New York City did their initial survey, they had some decent responses. But the second year they did it, they said, well, we want to change up your questions just a little bit to match the interests of alumni here. So maybe it's just tuning up a question or two, or asking a couple of additional questions. We are more than happy to work with your needs to make sure that your club is getting the right information to make their next steps moving forward. Surveys are also the best way to find leaders to serve in a leadership role. This is especially true for new clubs, but we've had established clubs who said, you know, I've only been one person for this long. I need to find some people. And with the survey, we ask if you're interested in potentially serving on as a board member for your club. So we're able to determine who is interested in doing it. After we find out who is interested in serving on a club board, we will send those potential leaders a questionnaire, and we vet those questions out with the current leadership on the club to see who we want to bring on. Some clubs even have additional conversations if they're more established with the folks who are interested. But either way, we're able to kind of farm that out and see who wants to step up and help out. And as we've seen, clubs that utilize our boards are some of our most successful ones. So this is a great way to find and build a board. After we have a survey sent out, as I just talked about, you want to finalize those boards there. Here are a couple of pictures of some of our more recent club startups and their boards that they found. In some cases, like Atlanta here, you can see that's a huge board. We have 5 positions, but some of our clubs have had so much interest and so many strong alumni that they want to have those folks stay on, so you can kind of bring up new board members for when your time is kind of time to roll off. That way you're establishing a leadership pipeline. So we have subcommittees for events, subcommittees for your communications team, or subcommittees for membership, because our boards, you know, they have your chair, they have your chair-elect, you have your events chair, you have your communications chair, and lastly, you have your membership chair, because ultimately this all comes down to membership, and membership is what drives us. But finalize those boards, get to know your boards, build rapport with your board. Take them out one-on-one, take them out for coffee, take them out for a happy hour. Just get to know them, because one thing that y'all have in common is your Gamecocks. So you have something right there, but that's the best way. A unified board really can meet the needs of alumni in your city. And then obviously we will send the swag. We'll get that out for you. Everyone loves free stuff. So whether it be a beat sticker for the football season, or koozies, or even a My Carolina flag, forever to be towels, rally towels, we want to support you by having folks show up to your event and walk away with some free stuff. People love free stuff. I know I do. Aaron, do you like free stuff?
I like free stuff.
I like free stuff too. So why not? And that's a great way to get folks to come to your event as well. And also have some decoration there too. And then lastly, we guarantee a Facebook and a Twitter page that we will create for the club. Your Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, if you decide to make it, is your front door to the rest of the world. That is how you tell your story. So if you have an event and you post pictures of it, that's how alumni who aren't quite sure if they should go to your event quite yet know that there are Gamecocks there and want to support you. So one thing we always suggest for new clubs, especially Facebook and Twitter, get out there and follow fellow clubs, follow UofSC, follow the Alumni Association, obviously. That's the best way to start to build up your brand, and then start posting original content as well. And we'll get more into that later. So you have your board built, you have your survey results, you're starting your brand on social media. How now do you engage alumni? With the surveys that we've collected over the last 2 years, we have had well over 1,000 survey respondents, and we have a good understanding from those surveys. And here's just the next few slides are kind of a snapshot of what we've seen. Hands down, alumni want to attend events. Some of them just want to engage on social media. Maybe they want to talk football. Some want to help plan. You might have a few who want to really get out and provide support. Maybe they do a speaking engagement or mentor a student or a rising Gamecock, or maybe they want to help the club by donating to the club if there's an endowment. Maybe the club could use those funds for an event or through their membership, because obviously 10% goes back to 10% of membership dues go back to the club. So what we know though for sure is that by far and away, folks want to attend events and be around other Gamecocks. So we can see here what kind of events that they're more interested in. We determined based on very likely, neutral, unlikely, or very unlikely metrics. And you can see here the most popular ones, and we have a few more, but these are just by far the most popular events. Game viewings for football, professional networking, educational, community service, and social are some of our top events where alumni definitely want to go to. But one thing that you'll see here, every event has most alumni saying that they are likely or very likely to attend your event. Most are neutral, or most have a strong neutral base as well. But what that basically means is they're just waiting to go. They need to see that y'all are real, and once they see that, I guarantee you they will become a supporter of the club and start showing up. The folks who are unlikely or very unlikely, they might have other ideas, but as you can see through the gamut there, most of them are not unlikely or very unlikely. Most of them are in the upper echelon of wanting to attend events. So host events. And what we've seen for the actual type of event, or outside of that, how often should events be held? Most of our alumni show that they want monthly events. Now, maybe you're in a smaller market, and so quarterly might work out better. But for the most part, folks want monthly events. They want that consistency. So we always suggest at least doing a happy hour once a month, maybe trying a new brewery once a month, or a new venue, especially if you have a Gamecock connection. For ideal times to host events, we've seen it kind of go between weekday evenings. So Thursday nights are usually pretty popular, or weekends on the daytime. So Saturday afternoon is always a pretty popular one too. And I think that connects pretty well with football game viewings. Out of all the alumni we've surveyed as well, we've seen that most of them are willing to spend a little bit of cash at their event, or at an event. So about $37.50 is what the average came out to. But that tells you that if you're talking to a venue about hosting, you can always say alumni are always coming. They usually eat, they usually drink. So the venues are usually pretty darn happy to host. Not only that, we are more than happy to provide that kind of free promotion for them by sending out emails for events, and promotion, but we'll get more on that later. This is just more for kind of the ideal times and how much folks are willing to spend at your events. So let's say you have a good idea now of what you want to do. You've identified a venue. You know that alumni want to do something monthly. You want to get rolling here. So find a venue, pick the event you want to do, get with your staff liaison, and we will take care of a lot of that for you. We will set up an Eventbrite. We'll also send out 2 emails to alumni in your area. I'm going to say it again. We will send out 2 emails to alumni in your area. What we've seen is anything more than 2, you start to get folks who will unfollow or unsubscribe to your emails. And we don't want that. Obviously, as you can see here, the preferred communication for your events or any kind of alumni, any kind of alumni club item is email. So email by far, 826 people said they want it to be emailed to them. So we've seen that if alumni are receiving too many emails about one event, they're more likely to unsubscribe because A, they've already gotten it, and B, it's just too many emails. But you can also see there, e-newsletters are great. Shout out to Atlanta. They do an amazing e-newsletter every 2 months. Online events through Eventbrite are a great way to have people RSVP. Are you going to have a ticketed event where you have people spend X amount of dollars to go to the event? Eventbrite is a fantastic way to kind of keep that in order. Your staff liaison, here's a nice thing, will take care of setting up all of that for you. So we will set up the Eventbrite. You tell us what you want to send out via email, and we will send that out for you. And that is for the alumni not to have folks say, hey, I have this business, will you please send out an email on behalf? If you do that too much, you're going to get a lot of folks kind of spamming you or wanting the alumni club to send out emails on their behalf for their personal business. And we're not here for that, obviously. So we do that. So our alumni clubs do not need to worry about that. Also, our alumni clubs all have their own email addresses that just forwards to the club chair automatically. So Atlanta at mycarolina.org just forwards it onto their club chair immediately. So what we've seen though is Facebook is another key communication tool. So if you have an event, make sure you put it on Facebook as well. We will also create and design graphics for your event, as you can kind of see 2 examples here in the bottom left that your club can use when making a Facebook event, and we use it for the email and for the Eventbrite as well. But don't forget to use that social media piece. That's how you increase your visibility for your upcoming event. After that, host and post. So as you can see, these pictures are coming in. This is how alumni know that you are hosting events and that these events are fun and engaging. And you can see these events here, everyone's having a great time. So when you're at your event, make sure not only are you networking with alumni, but taking pictures and posting those on your Facebook, on your Twitter, on your Instagram, so alumni know that, hey, this group is real and they look like a fun group of people, because you are a fun group of people. And then most importantly, you need to stay consistent. Football season is great because you have those weekly events for game viewings if you're deciding to go that route. But you need to stay consistent with alumni in your area so they know that, yes, we do have the University of South Carolina right here in our town. So by staying consistent, you're engaging your alumni, you're continuing to grow. New opportunities will always arise, whether it might be with maybe the Black Alumni Council wants to do an event in your area. They'll want to use the Alumni Association's club as well. Other schools and colleges might be in the area. The Gamecock Club, we might have athletics coming through. Always be open and stay consistent. That's how folks know, our partners know, that we have a solid group there who's willing to engage alumni and help out. I would also always say, have fun. You should be having fun doing this. This is, it should not feel too laborious. This is a labor of love more than anything. You're representing the university in your town to so many folks in your area. And so you are bringing the university, you and your board are bringing the university to your city. And I think that's just such a fun thing to do. It's also, not a lot of people get to do that. So you have given this great opportunity. Make sure you're having fun with it. And while you're doing that, be on the lookout for the next person who's going to help your club go to that next level. Always be recruiting, whether it be on the social media networks or during your events. Always find folks who want to be engaged and help out with your group. Now, after this is all said and done, everyone's on a 2-year term. So at the end of your term, club chairs should really step aside. We have made it available for club chairs. If they decide to, they can stay on the board and go into a membership chair capacity. Now that being, because your club chair in the last 2 years of them running the club, they should really have a good understanding of who is in the area and who they can talk to about joining the Alumni Association, and really increasing that network for the club, which is essentially what a membership chair does. The chair-elect then steps into the chair position to begin their 2-year term. An MOU needs to be signed, and that is on our club resource toolkit online. Don't forget to check that out. That is where we host, that's where we host all of our forums and other essential needs. And then board members who don't really want to go to the club chair route, but want to stay on, let's say, events chair or membership chair, committee or communications chair, they can stay in a board role for 2 terms. After that, they do need to roll off. They can go on a subcommittee if they so choose, but it is important to have fresh eyes, new people to bring in new ideas. But it is important to also make sure that we are setting those folks up for success. So recruit them, set them up for success, show them how it's done, and then let them lead. And we always appreciate our past chairs and support. And that's why, we definitely want to stay on membership capacity after their time, but we need to make sure that we're letting, stepping aside for new leadership to come in and do their thing as well.
Hey everybody, wake up. Now that Steve's done, let's review some of the resources he talked about. And if you got anything out of this presentation, we want y'all to know, please use your staff liaison. We are here for you. You can see these lovely faces on the beat stickers. Please use us. So just to kind of reiterate what he said, we'll begin with surveys. If you ever need a survey sent out, we are here to create it for you, send it out on your behalf. We'll provide you with any of your club logos or alumni association logos that you may need. And we really will handle pretty much all of the event marketing for you. So that begins with creating the event graphic. We'll create the Eventbrite event. And from there, we'll send out email promoting the event for you. Like Steve said, how many, Steve, will we send out?
2.
2.
Dose.
Thank you. From there, we will also track your RSVPs. So we'll kind of keep you updated and keep you in the loop to let you know how many people you can expect out to your event. And then if you request it, we can send up a follow-up email from the event and try to gather some feedback from people that come out to your event. So please use us. We are here for you. Another thing that Steve touched on quite a bit was communicate. Use those social media accounts. Use your voice. If anything, I think people, alumni in these communities, want to know that you're just a real person. You're not just the association. You are an alumni. You're passionate about the university. So we've included a couple great examples of some social media posts that you'll see. On the left-hand side, you'll see the DC Gamecocks that partnered with other SEC alumni. Just a fun picture, show off your events. Right there in the middle, you'll see the Atlanta Gamecocks. Gosh, they've been very active over these past few weeks that we've been working remotely, hosting virtual events. They post content from the Alumni Association. Not only do they promote their events, but they promote events for the entire association. So make sure you're really showing off everything that the association is doing, not just in your local community. And to the right-hand side, you'll see our fun group from New Orleans. So this was actually just this past Mardi Gras. Like I said, any personality you can bring to your social accounts is always a great way to continue engaging alumni and try to, it gets people out to your events. New Orleans looks like a fun group. I would want to go spend Mardi Gras with them. So just continue to be consistent on your social media accounts, not only promoting your club, but also promoting the university and the Alumni Association as a whole. So be sure to communicate. Okay, so next we'll touch on membership real quick. And one of the biggest questions we get from our club chairs is oftentimes, why should I promote membership? What's in it for me? Well, membership all starts at the top. So you noticed at the beginning of the presentation that Steve and I are members, our entire team are members of the association. We expect our club chairs to be members of the association, and that alone is the best way to recruit members. Keep in mind, 10% of membership dues go directly back to your club. So if you recruit members at an event, 10% of that revenue is coming directly back to you that you can in turn put into more events and continuing to grow your events. So that's the best way to promote membership. If you ask me, that's the most tangible benefit for our clubs. Obviously, keep in mind it supports student scholarships, but really continue to push on 10% of the revenue goes straight back to the club. So next up, we'll touch real quick on finances. And the biggest piece here is please do not spend your own money for club-related activities. There are funds available for clubs. So in the chart below, you'll see starting at our Carolina level clubs, going up to our horseshoe level clubs, suggested amounts that are available for clubs for that year. And to move forward with that, make sure for those budget request forms, we need those August 1st and December 1st of each year. You'll find those in the club toolbox online. They're pretty self-explanatory, but if you have any questions, please reach out. And to build off of that, we do also have advanced request forms that can be submitted for a prepaid debit card. This is kind of a new model that we're piloting for our clubs, but we hope to have this available for all of our clubs so that you can have the money available at an event so you're not having to request a reimbursement from us. And there is a full presentation on all the financial resources available to clubs on the Club Toolbox website. Steve did it, so I'm sorry if it bores you to death. Just a couple more things to touch on. Be a positive Gamecock. Keep in mind you are representing not only your club, the Alumni Association, but you're also representing the university. So please have a positive mindset, tell your story, use your voice, and continue to be authentic. I think we just all want to see positive promotion of the university. So let's be mindful of that. Get out of your comfort zone. You'll see a couple of the events here that have actually taken place over the past few weeks. Just some really different ideas that we want to make sure that we're kind of channeling your creative juices. You'll see over here to the right-hand side, the Super Bowl party. So we had Debo Samuel and Rashad Fenton playing in the Super Bowl. So our Tampa Gamecocks group used that as an opportunity to try to engage alumni that maybe haven't come out to their events before and that would be interested in watching the Super Bowl and watching previous Gamecocks. You'll see in the middle, we had a Zoom brunch, which was an awesome event with our New Orleans Gamecocks family. We've given them a couple shout outs, but they celebrated Jazz Festival, which is a big event in New Orleans. So they did it at home. Everybody brought a beverage and their brunch, and they just sat there and listened to jazz music and just really engaged, found a way to engage when otherwise they weren't able to get together. And to the left-hand side, you'll see our one of our most recent groups to come on board, our Germany Gamecocks, who have also found a way to continue to host virtual events. They get together every other week and have great conversations around, you know, what's happening around the pandemic, just trying to keep up with each other's lives and finding opportunities to network with alumni whenever they can. So just to reiterate, get out of your comfort zone. You know, host different types of events. You may see some things may work great, some may not. Of course, we're here to assist with that and, you know, just continue to grow your repertoire of events.
Continuing on with getting out of your comfort zone, here are some events that we've seen from some of our clubs that have been very successful that were just outside of the game viewings or the happy hours. You know, Charlotte did yoga and mimosas. They partnered up and had mimosas after doing a yoga session, taught, of course, by a Gamecock. The DC Gamecocks did a fundraiser for their endowment. Their club chair is a financial guru, so he did personal finance 101 with DC Gamecocks, and the proceeds or the folks that were there were encouraged to donate, and the club had free brunch there for anyone that RSVP'd. And the Columbia Gamecocks has started a lunch and learn series where they sell tickets, people show up for lunch, and they bring in an expert presenter to talk about whatever might be on their purview. Their first event happened to be the university architect who talked about things that are coming up through the university, how to stay aesthetically pleasing from 1801 to 2020. And we're always happy, Aaron and I, to talk with you about finding potential speakers for these events. Let's keep in mind expectations here. football coaches are hard to get. So just keep that in mind, but we're always happy. And with Zoom, we have so many opportunities to reach out to folks in the university community to do something along these lines. But we can't thank y'all enough for your time today. I had fun. Aaron, did you have a good time?
Had a great time.
If you need anything, we are always here for you. Feel free to reach out to us. Whatever the idea might be for an event, we are limited to our imagination, as one of my favorite club chairs says. So we're limited to your imagination. So, shoot high and reach out to us and see how we can help you out. You'll find that you'd be surprised at what kind of events we can put together by just going with an idea. So we always say, keep that up. Thank you all so much, and go Gamecocks.
Thank you all.